This is WWE NXT Roadblock full show results video which takes place at WWE Performance Center, and the show started with a jailhouse street fight match between Donovan Dijak versus Tony D'Angelo, and the result of this match was Tony D'Angelo defeated Donovan Dijak by locking Donovan Dijak in the cell. Then backstage, Roxanne Perez is interviewed, and she's feeling pretty anxious and Meiko Satomura beat her the last time they met, but she's gonna make it different this time. She's done everything she can do to prepare, and she knows this isn't her first title defense, but it's the biggest, and she needs to walk into stand and deliver as champion, and she's ready and she's going to leave everything in the ring to keep her title. Back from the commercial, Josh Briggs arrives at Kiana James' office to chat with her, as he promised Brooks Jensen he would. She says Brooks' happiness is hers, and she's dedicated to her team with Fallon Henley, and Briggs tries to impress on her how listless he is with the state of the relationship. James says she's been swamped in business, and Josh tells her Brooks is terrified of making the wrong move and she's gonna have to take the lead, and she says she's gonna give Jensen a call later and book a makeup date. Then Gallus comes in the ring, microphones in hand, and they call Pretty Deadly out to come get the receipts they have waiting for them. They appear in the crowd on a platform behind them and Wolfgang yells at them, and Pretty Deadly say they want the NXT Tag Team Championship back, and Mark Coffey tells them to come take them. Pretty Deadly make like they're gonna give them a jolly good thrashing tonight, but Gallus tell them they're not doing anything tonight. Pretty Deadly up on the apron, Wolfgang slingshots them in and the former champs are on the bad side of a beatdown. Then Lyra Valkyrie cuts a promo about how she came to NXT to seek a battle and now her eye is on the NXT Women's Championship. Then Dragon Lee is shown in the crowd as NXT's newest signing. Then we saw a six-man tag team match between Braun Breaker and Creed Brothers versus Indus Sher, Jinder Mahal, Sangha, and Veer Mahan, and the result of this match was Braun Breaker and Creed Brothers won the match by pinfall with a Brutus Bomb Doomsday device from the Creeds on Veer Mahan. Then we saw Grayson Waller effect show, and he welcomes Shawn Michaels to the ring, and he accuses HBM of holding him back, and Shawn tells him he's not the guy because he lost at Vengeance Day. New Year's Evil wasn't his fault, but that's why they made the cage match, and they got a decisive winner, and Grayson took his shot and he missed and now he's mad and he wants to blame somebody, but the guy he needs to look at is the guy in the mirror. Grayson says he's steering the ship right into an iceberg because he's the biggest star on the brand and now he's not on stand and deliver? He wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut after Mania, and Shawn tells him his problem is that he feels like he's bigger than the brand, but NXT was built as a collective built on the shoulders of guys like Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Undisputed Era, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. Michaels admits his active career was all about him, but the second he walked in he knew it was different and NXT was special, and Grayson asks what makes it special and says he's sick of NXT and the people backstage saying they want to be a superstar and doing nothing about it. Shawn yells at him and says he wants to run him down, he can knock his socks off and jump on the bandwagon, but do not ever run this brand down, and Waller challenges him to take the stupid cowboy hat off and tune up the band one last time, and HBM takes his jacket off. Then Shawn Michaels confirmed Grayson Waller's match at NXT Stand and Deliver, and he introduced his opponent, and that was Johnny Gargano, and Gargano comes and runs into the ring and beat down Grayson Waller. The next match happened between Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane, and the result of this match was Gigi Dolan defeated JC Jane by pinfall with a Cobra Twist Slam. Post-match, JC attacks and horsecollas Gigi with a chair, but referees swarm to pull her away. Then Braun Breaker heads to the ring with no music and calls for a microphone, and he says he was supposed to say what he's gonna say next week, but it's time. It's time for the biggest match on the biggest stage, no more obstacles, no more roadblocks, NXT Stand and Deliver, and he calls Carmelo Hayes down. Carmelo Hayes comes, and they talk about the meeting before NXT 2.0 where they were selected to lead the brand and how they fulfilled that prophecy and there's nowhere to go but to fight each other, and Carmelo says he'll see him at Stand and Deliver and shake on it. Hayes reminds him he's never been secondary to anybody, and Braun says they'll just have to see on April 1st at NXT Stand and Deliver. The next match happened between Andre Chase versus Joe Gacy, and the result of this match was Joe Gacy defeated Andre Chase by pinfall with the upside-down finishing move. Then we saw Alba Fire and Isla Dawn performing a full moon ritual, and back from the commercial, Wesley is interviewed backstage, and he says it's intense lately but he loves how badly everybody wants to fight him for the NXT North American Championship. Nathan Fraser gave him a hell of a match and you gotta love it, and then Axiom rolls up and challenges Wes to a match, and Lee says he'll see him next week. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Meiko Satomura versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship, and the result of this match was Roxanne Perez defeated Meiko Satomura by pinfall to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Post-match, Roxanne Perez collapses as medical staff tends to her, and then HBK and Booker T walk alongside Perez as they stretcher her out, and the show goes off air.